Liliana, I need to talk to you about something.
What is it, Olivia? Why so serious all of a sudden?
I've noticed that you've been giving Edward a lot of money recently. I'm worried.
Oh, you don't need to worry about that. Edward is my precious son, and I want to give him everything. You don't need to worry about anything.
I understand that, but Edward is an adult now. And I think making him dependent isn't good for him.
You don't understand how wonderful Edward is. He can do anything. So it's okay to spoil him a little.
But living off your money without working is a bit of a problem.
He doesn't need to work as long as I'm here. He's fine. Edward is my pride and joy. You wouldn't understand, but parents want to do everything for their children.
I understand. But my husband and I both work to support our household. I want Edward to be a bit more aware of that.
That's just your selfish thinking. It's a mother's job to help her child when he's in trouble. You don't understand a mother's feelings because you don't have children.
And one more thing. It's a bit troubling that you often talk to us about money.
Talking about money? What's wrong with that? We're family, so it's natural to help each other.
That's true, but it's a bit much to constantly ask to borrow money or to lend money.
Oh, that shouldn't be a problem. I'm asking because we're family, and family should respond.
We have our limits, and if you rely on us too much, it becomes difficult for us.
You're really stingy. Money should circulate. It's a family's duty to help each other in times of need.
I understand, but I think it's important for us to live more independently.
Well, I don't completely disagree with you, but I'd do anything for Edward. I'm willing to make any sacrifice for him.
That's a wonderful form of love, but in the long run, it won't be good for him.
You don't need to worry about that. I raised Edward, so he's a decent person. You might not understand that yet.
Constantly being asked to lend money puts a lot of pressure on me.
Oh, that shouldn't be a problem. I'm your mother-in-law asking.
We have our limits, and if you rely on us too much, it becomes difficult for us.
Well, I don't completely disagree with you. But there's no problem for me or Edward, so it's fine.
I understand, but I'll keep an eye on it to make sure your love doesn't become too excessive.
Olivia, do you have a moment?
Sure, I'm free. What's up?
I need you to listen to what I'm about to say calmly.
What is it? You're making me nervous.
We have an inheritance of $5 million.
$5 million? Is that for real? I can't believe it. I thought we were just an ordinary family. If anything, I felt we were on the poorer side. So how could we have such a huge inheritance? How come? I can't understand how we have such a massive inheritance. Can you explain?
Dad and Mom saved really hard for us siblings for a long time. This $5 million includes the inheritance Mom received from Dad. It's the result of their hard work and sacrifices. That's why we really need to be grateful. Thanks to them, we are receiving this large inheritance now.
But what should we do with such a huge amount of money? Honestly, I'm confused.
What do you mean by what should we do? Tell me specifically what you want to do and what you're worried about.
We should keep this from others, right? Especially if relatives or acquaintances find out. It could be a big problem. I mean, only you and I are the heirs, right? We're the only ones set to receive this inheritance.
That's exactly what the will states. There's no need for others to know, and it's better if they don't. No one expected Mom to have such a large inheritance, so it should be okay. But I'm a bit worried about your mother-in-law. If she sniffs this out, it could be trouble.
Yes, no one is as greedy as Liliana. You never know what she might do. She could find out from anywhere. And we're already being pressured to live together, so we need to be extra careful.
Living together. What reason is she giving for wanting to live together? What is she saying?
She says it's normal for families to live together. According to her, that's what all ordinary families do. And Edward just becomes a complete yes man when it comes to his mother. He does whatever she says. I've been managing to refuse by citing my mom's illness. But now that she's passed away, I don't know how to resist. I'm worried.
In the end, she just wants a free house to live in with her son. Liliana must be feeling lonely after her husband divorced her. But I think it's more than just that.
Yes, the divorce was her fault due to her affair, and she got what she deserved. I heard she had to pay a significant amount in alimony. That's why she's trying to leech off us. She says it's because she has no money. Not just that, but she's also using me to relieve her stress. She complains almost daily about me being a useless daughter-in-law.
I see. I get it now. Liliana is indeed a difficult person, but she's really a nuisance. I'm sorry to bring this up right after our mom's passing, but it was necessary to talk about it.
No, it's okay. We wouldn't have talked about this otherwise, so don't worry. I'm actually grateful. Now we have to prepare for tomorrow's funeral. There's no time to be sad. We need to stay strong.
Yes, you're right. Let's do our best. Olivia, I think it's a good time to discuss this now.
Huh? What do you mean?
I've been talking about this for a long time.
What do you mean?
It's about living together, of course.
What?
Olivia, I need to talk to you. Have you thought about us living together? You've always said you're too busy taking care of your sick mother. But now, you don't have to worry about that anymore. So you can decide to live together now, right?
How can you put it that way? We're about to have the funeral. Can you consider the timing a bit more? This is really inappropriate.
Inappropriate? You've been using your mother as an excuse to delay the decision. Now that your mother is gone, make the decision quickly.
I've always clearly said I don't want to live together.
But Edward is okay with it. If your husband says it's okay, shouldn't the wife comply? That's how a normal marriage works, right?
Why is that? We both work and split the rent equally. I have the right to express my opinion too. You should understand the importance of equality in marriage.
But you did use your mother as an excuse. Now that she's gone, give me your answer right now.
I've no intention of living together. I've clearly stated this many times. Why can't you understand that?
Huh. Always so selfish. You know, Edward has been visiting your mother in the hospital, right? And you won't even grant his wish to live with his own mother?
What? Visiting my mother? He only came to see her once. In fact, he always yelled at me to prepare meals before going to the hospital.
Preparing meals before going is the least you can do. Acting like a victim is unbelievable.
Anyway, neither I nor my mother have relied on Edward for anything.
Fine. I have no obligation to respect your opinion. Edward and I have decided to live together. We'll move in next month, so be ready.
What are you talking about?
You insist on equality in marriage, right? Then it's strange that your will is the only one being prioritized. Edward wants to live with me. You should consider his wishes too.
Given your usual attitude towards me, I can't believe you'd want to live together. You always mock me as a useless wife from a poor background.
But Edward doesn't get angry because it's true. You always try to share housework and cooking because you both work. That's wrong.
What's wrong with that? It's natural, isn't it? Because we both work, it's only natural to share housework and cooking.
A woman should support her man. Don't you understand that? That's why you're called poor and useless.
That's such an outdated perspective. And I don't want to hear that from someone who's had an affair and got divorced by her husband.
What? That has nothing to do with this. I've reflected on my actions, apologized, and paid alimony. Are you saying that someone who makes a mistake should never be forgiven?
I don't think that, but I do think you shouldn't speak so arrogantly. Especially since it's been less than a year since that incident.
Fine. Bring up the past and insult me all you want. No matter what you say, I've decided we will live together.
Then I'll move out. Since we split the rent, Edward will have to pay it all by himself.
Oh my God! You're really infuriating. What is wrong with you?
Well, today is my dear mother's funeral, so I'll take my leave.
Damn it! You'll regret this.
Liliana, it was my mother's funeral, you know. What were you thinking? This is extremely inappropriate. You need to apologize to all the relatives.
What for?
Laughing during the funeral. Are you insulting my mother? What kind of nerve do you have?
No, it's not like that. I just couldn't hold it in. I didn't mean any harm.
Couldn't hold it in? It's strange to be holding back laughter at a funeral in the first place. I understand that you didn't have any attachment to my mother, but to laugh at her funeral is just cruel, don't you think?
I said it wasn't on purpose. The more you try not to laugh, the more you do, right? And Edward was laughing too, so I just got carried away. I don't know why I was so happy during the funeral.
Huh? What are you talking about? No matter the reason, I will never forgive Edward or you. Do you understand that this is an act of trampling on human dignity?
But I couldn't help it. I'm just so happy about the $5 million inheritance.
What did you just say? $5 million inheritance? That's the reason you laughed during the funeral? I can't believe it.
There's no point in hiding it anymore. We know everything. Edward overheard you and Robert talking about it in secret. I expected some inheritance, but not $5 million.
You're truly despicable. To think about such things during my mother's funeral?
Of course I know it's bad. I'm sorry for laughing so hard at your precious mother's funeral. But knowing about the $5 million inheritance, my son and I are so happy.
You won't get a single cent of it.
What?
The inheritance will only go to Robert and me. It's written in the will, so neither you nor Edward will get any money.
Even if you inherit it, Edward is your husband, so it's marital property. You and Robert can't hog the inheritance.
Well, I've decided to divorce Edward.
What? How can you say that so casually? I won't allow it. Edward will oppose it too. I won't let you do as you please.
How do you think of a husband who laughs at his own mother-in-law's funeral? We can't stay together. That's why I'm getting a divorce. It doesn't matter if you don't approve. The divorce will happen.
Edward has to sign the divorce papers for it to happen. I won't allow it. No divorce.
Then I'll take legal action. That will only make things worse for you. And everyone at the funeral saw you two laughing. I'm sure they were all appalled. If it goes to court, do you think anyone will side with Edward? If you want to turn everyone against you just to stop the divorce, go ahead. But Edward, who only listens to his mother, doesn't have that kind of guts.
You insolent woman from a poor background.
My family wasn't poor, just thrifty. And even if we were poor, I'm proud of my parents.
What a load of nonsense.
Well, say whatever you want. I'll be cutting ties with you too, so don't contact me again. Goodbye.
I will never give up, so be prepared. Olivia, answer me. I stopped by because you haven't responded. You should at least help out a bit for your mother-in-law and husband who took care of you. Olivia, answer me. Hey, what's going on? Why are you breaking into our house? Are you looking for the inheritance? What do you plan to do with that? Why are you here? I thought you'd be out at this time. I didn't expect you to be home. My mom just passed away, so I've been taking some time off. Sneaking into my house won't change the will. You two won't get the inheritance. It's impossible. Please, we're really in trouble. We have nowhere to live. We don't know what to do. I was supposed to live with Edward and Olivia, so I canceled the lease on my apartment. I have nowhere to go. And Olivia moved out, so Edward can't pay the rent alone. He had to leave the apartment, right? You two are both homeless now. I know everything. But you brought this on yourselves. If you know, then help us. How are we supposed to live now? Please do something. This is all you're doing. It's none of my business. Crying to me won't help you. Olivia is much kinder than I am. Don't underestimate me. I'm not that nice. Fine. Please, I promise we'll stay away. Just forgive us. I told you I'm not nice. I'm calling the police. I was terrified when I woke up to intruders in my house. I need compensation for this trauma. What the hell? You got $5 million in inheritance, and now you want more money? So, because I got an inheritance, I should forgive being a victim? That has nothing to do with this. What are you talking about?
I'll repent. We really have no money. Please reconsider.
Then borrow or do whatever to pay up. I've had enough of you too. Olivia finally got angry, but I wanted her to get mad sooner. I thought you were just lonely after your husband passed, but you're just scum. The more you suffer, the happier I am. Got it?
Is this who you really are? I thought you were reasonable.
Why would you break into a reasonable person's house? Shut up and stop whining. I'll make you suffer.
Wait, please. We'll both be ruined. Is that what you want? You really don't care?
Take care of Edward. A woman should support her man, right? Don't forget what you said.
Olivia, I need to talk to you. Please, listen to me. What is it, Liliana? I told you not to contact me anymore. What do you want to talk about now? Robert really crushed us, and we're truly in trouble. Please help us. Help you? What are you talking about? This is the result of your own actions, isn't it? I know. But we don't know what to do. Edward can't do anything either. Edward also insulted me along with you, and your behavior at the funeral is unforgivable. I truly regret that, but I've learned my lesson. So please, help us. You've learned your lesson? Then why did you treat me and Robert the way you did all this time? I was wrong. I'm truly sorry. But now we have no money and no place to live. Don't you think it's outrageous to ask for my help now just because you have no money? Maybe it is, but please don't abandon us. Just one more chance. A chance? Now you're asking for a chance? Do you know how much I've suffered because of you? I understand. But we will change. Please help us. Liliana, I don't want anything to do with you anymore. Stop involving me any further. Please, Olivia. This is the last time. Do not contact me again. Goodbye. After that, my divorce from Edward was finalized. Since I had gathered solid evidence, Edward couldn't resist, and the process went smoothly. He complained, but eventually signed the papers reluctantly. As for Liliana and Edward, after being cut off from us, they became increasingly impoverished. Having no place to live, they ended up living on the streets. In such conditions, Liliana's health gradually deteriorated, and she had to rely more and more on hospitals. However, they couldn't afford medical expenses and relied on public assistance. Edward couldn't find a job, and even when he did, his irresponsible attitude caused him to not last long at any workplace. Eventually, he ended up living the same impoverished life as his mother. On the other hand, Robert and I had a smooth sailing life. Robert used his mother's inheritance wisely and continued to work diligently. We don't know when we will each have our own families, but we intend to support each other